So I want to share something with you guys. Something that someone from the Discord community, especially Baba Yetu, he messaged me and said, "Hey man, send me the ETH address that you do with the MCP. I have something for you. Hope this can help you get back on your feet in MCP." So I'm getting super excited right now. Okay, I'm gonna check out what this is potentially could be. So I'm just gonna go ahead and jump over, click on my assets. My level 7 residential building. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh man. Wow, Baba Yetu, you are the man. Oh my goodness.
Why don't you go ahead and check out Bobby2's Twitch TV/Bobby2 NFT. He's got a bunch of videos there that can probably get you along your journey.
And oh yeah, of course, he would appreciate it if you can follow. Now back to the show.
What's going on, man?
Hey, what's up?
How you doing?
Good, good. Yeah, man, I just can't express my how much I appreciate this.
We all underestimate just how big an impact we can have, even just the smallest little thing. When somebody comes on Discord and has a question, we answer it. We don't like we're not judgmental. We share what we know. I think you've done a lot more for this community than anybody will ever realize. And I think while I can't speak on behalf of everybody else, if I could, I think that we would all say that we in fact actually owe you a debt of gratitude for the work that you did at first, because that again, like I can't tell you how many times over the last year and a half, 2 years, somebody has come into the community citing your video. And as me and Baller, we're trying to build MCPHQ, and our hope, like selfishly, is we want to hear people say, "Oh, well, I found the game because I stumbled on your video or MCPHQ." And no matter how many hours we throw into that, people still keep coming in and saying, "Oh, well, I saw this video and then something like, oh, yep, that one." So it's you're the gold standard. You're what drives and motivates us, because in all honesty, it just goes to show that one random video, it's one action, you taking the time to record that, to actually go out and seek out Jeffy, to learn about his story, and to actually present and share it. You've created a whole bunch of value, not just for the folks who saw it, were inspired, and jumped into the game and hopefully have made some money, but also for all the other folks that were around, that you kind of really fueled, I think, like that next wave of growth. So I think
It's
just keep
amazing to hear
inspiring
that.
people. It's a wonderful thing. And sometimes too, like the great thing about the content that you've created and that other folks are creating is it's not a single point in time. It lives out there in perpetuity. Somebody else will stumble upon your video, whether it be today, a year from now, 3 years from now. Same thing with the stuff that Eric's doing, with the stuff that everybody does, everything that people are posting on Twitter. It's out there. When somebody searches for Mega Cryptopolis now, they find your video, they find all these tweets. And it's when MCP turns that marketing machine on, anybody who searches, who wants to research, is not going to find this empty slate, nothing there. There's going to be thousands upon thousands of hours and tweets from people sharing their experience. And that all kicked off with you. You were the first person you were the first person to show your face. Everybody else, there were other people that made videos. You were the first person to put your face out there to say, "This is me. This is the game I'm playing. This is how I'm feeling about it." It inspires a lot of people.
It's so cool to hear this. It's so cool to hear this. You don't realize it's so cool because, yeah, back then there wasn't that community. Like even Discord was so brand new, fresh. Ispira was heading that up a lot during that time, and he put his ICP tips up there. And I was asking him a lot of things, just like what you're doing. I'm not sure how active he is these days, but like there's so much more people on this thing now. And there's so many languages it's on in different. It's going crazy.
A lot of people out there that are looking out for each other, that realize that the world works best when we work with each other. And this happened to you. I could be next, and at some point somebody else is going to get hacked. It might be somebody else, it might be me, but I think I've actually seen a lot of folks, especially in the MCP community. There are a lot of people that are behind the scenes. They don't post, but whenever something goes wrong, they're always a message away, reaching out to make sure that anything that they can do to help, that they will. So we're quick to point out and notice the negative. The positive is usually hidden there.
What made you feel like you want to step up compared to other people? There's other people who have my stuff out there and they haven't stepped up like you did. And on top of that, you also created a community, and also along with Max Headroom, somewhere for people to talk and express their frustration and hope that there's a solution to move forward. It took a year and a half, almost 2 years for this. To me, I almost like pretty much gave up, thinking, "Oh, forget it. I'm not going to be back." Like this is such a terrible experience for me. But it's like the Wild Wild West. It's something that's new. Don't really know what is allowed to do. That fine line that I crossed was just all it took for me to lose everything.
I think about like when you're out in the real world and somebody holds a door open for you, or you hold a door open for somebody else, and it just makes you pause for a minute and smile and appreciate, like that one little tiny instance. And in that moment when somebody holds the door open for you, or even like you're driving and somebody lets you out of a side street, and you have that brief little connection with another random human being, and it just slightly restores your faith in humanity, that, hey, you know what, this stranger didn't flip me off. The stranger actually let me go. They could have kept going, they stopped. And it
Mhm.
creates like this little, almost like domino effect of, now you being on the receiving end of that, you start to feel like this little boost of energy, and you in turn, like, now you stop and you let somebody else out.
Mhm.
And I don't know, I think, like I said, this stuff can happen to anybody. And, I'm sure that at some point in time, it's going to happen to me too. And I think that there are, there are circumstances where, you know, at a certain point in time, we can only do so much. But I think in this particular case, what I'm personally trying to embrace is being the best version of me that I can be in any given moment.
Mhm.
And, 7 months ago, would I be able to do something? Maybe not. But in this point in time, exactly right here and now, I want to see you get back on your feet.
Mhm.
If you want to take it and sell it, you go and sell it. If you want to play the game, you play the game. Because, I purchased the asset. I purchased it quickly without realizing that it was coming from your stolen account. But like, I have my stuff. I'm able to enjoy the game right now with the assets that I have. I
Mhm.
want to see you be able to enjoy the game that you had so much fun playing, and you were so instrumental in getting this project out there on the map. That the video that you and Jeffy did, what was it, a year ago, or maybe I think it was a year ago or two
About a
years
year
ago.
and a half ago.
Yeah, like, there have been so many people that have come into the community citing specifically that video. And like, I think that I'm here and the game is where it's at, because people like you stepped up at the beginning to put the word out there. You put your face out there. You
Yes.
became somebody that was recognizable. The MCP team is anonymous, and at some point in time, I'm sure they'll come forward. But
Mhm.
until then, this game it's very much the faces that we see online, and you're one of them. So I think, if nothing else, I want to thank you for making the trajectory of this game possible, and the number of people that you brought in just by sharing your experience initially.
Thank you very much. Like when I started that, it was such early stages of the game, like it could have gone so many different directions. Putting thousands of dollars into something that could, that's anonymous, decentralized, with no customer support in the background is a scary feeling. And I was one of those risk takers, as you might call them. And during that early time, I was able to visualize what I wanted this to be. So I was really excited about the future of what this game could evolve into. And I'm watching it. Like just today, I went on to see one of the live demos of like how it becomes part of the metaverse. And I'm like, oh my God, I wish I had my district. Oh my God. Like, it's like I can see how powerful this would be. And it hurt me that I felt like I lost that opportunity just from one simple action, because I did everything right, most of the time. Just that one day, I probably just was maybe thinking a little greedy, thinking that I can get something out of an airdrop, gave something away, which was my password, unknowingly. And then the next day, I was wiped out and I was devastated. I wanted to scream. I didn't know what to do. I wanted to contact the police. That didn't work. I wanted to contact FBI. That didn't work. I was stuck. Really, it's like it was so heart painful because usually in the real world, you have places that you can go if something happens to you, but this is a very unique scenario. So that's why I feel what you did has to be some type of like I, to me at least, experiencing, like your generosity and like your kind Samaritan, action of returning something back, which it costs you something as well. So I'm indebted to you for one thing. I mean, even though you also appreciate what I did in the beginning, early stages, I like I said, I wanted this game to grow and I wanted the community to grow. And I'm glad that it brought people like you and others into the game. So that also kind of motivates me again to continue pushing more content out. And something like this is definitely something I would love to highlight.
I appreciate that, man. I think it's don't think of it as a debt. I think that every time something good happens to each one of us, every time we get something, every time we acquire something, it actually gives us the opportunity to do something for somebody else that we previously might not have been in a position to do.
Mhm.
And I know that you having an asset back that you lost is it has to maybe hopefully restore your faith that
It did.
while there are bad people out there, there for every one bad person there's 100 great people.
Mhm.
And we don't always see that, where it's very easy to spot and see the bad and the negative, and the positive and the good just gets drowned out, unfortunately.
Mhm.
But that same feeling that you had, like when you said, like jumping into Mega World, seeing what the game has become,
Mhm.
and that feeling of like, okay, like I want to be a part of this. You very clearly want to be a part of this project.
Mhm.
And like I said, there are so many people who are part of this project and community now because they saw you document your experience.
Mhm.
And for you to not be able to play this game
It's
because
so
of
hard.
of one small mistake, like that sucks. And the more I thought about it, think about, like, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the world that you yourself don't have control over. Something bad happens in another part of the world. Yeah, you can donate, you can do something, you can, you know, send a tweet out, but directly affect, there's so few things. And I stopped and thought about it. I was like, this is the perfect example of a place where I'm actually uniquely positioned that I can restore something for you. Nobody else can. Like this is on me. So
Mhm.
I'm more than happy to do it. And I know too, like it's not like you're a random person that nobody's ever met or talked to. I
Mhm.
know that you having this asset back is going to allow you to play the game. Hopefully, it
Mhm.
also inspires other folks who might have acquired some assets from your thief to
Mhm.
help out as well, so that you can start breeding again. If you're able to breed, you're able to start producing. You can make some money, and you can go from there. It's not it's not your district, it's not everything, but it's a start.
Mhm.
And we've already seen this happen to multiple people. It's not just you. You're not alone. We saw it
Mhm.
happen to you were the first high profile. It happened to Mystic a couple months back. Mystic lost
Mhm.
what, like 220-ish Ethereum worth of assets. It just keeps happening, and unfortunately, it's going to happen again. Maverick had a loss as well. So I think we should, as a community, all be able to look and say, this is it's a game that costs money, and we can't fix every right. I'm sorry, we can't fix every wrong, but at some point we have something that will be more valuable to somebody else than it is to us. And when that happens, we have to feel comfortable and confident that it's not about hoarding everything. It's the more successful that we collectively are, I think the more successful we will be individually as well.
Absolutely. So I'm really fortunate. I'm glad, and thank you very much for bringing me back into the community. So there's so much I've been missing out for the last many years, well, many months. I felt like eternity when you had something I felt was so good, and it just to lose it, and then I just felt like all that brain power that I had reserved for it was almost like oh, just on standby. I'm like, I'm not gonna look at it. I'll kind of visit Discord once a month, just to see what's going on. And then now this is a new surge of energy for me, and I hope that I'm able to share that more and inspire others to do this as well. Because right now the metaverse is a huge topic, and I think a lot of people are going to start searching on the internet, on Google, and figuring out like, hey, what is an NFT? What is a metaverse? What is MCP? What is Mega World? And I would like to be contributing to that, as well as you. You have a great, detailed, pretty much videos that you do on Twitch. And another player on the game, Randy, he mentioned that what you mentioned, what you talk about is really good, like nuggets of information that people who want to join should definitely check out your Twitch channel.
I appreciate that. Like I said, this all started with folks who took that first step when the game was nothing but 2D. You built a building, you collected some money, and you didn't know where it was going. Like
Mhm.
I think there's a natural progression, evolution that when I started, there was your video, and then Night was like the keeper of all information, all knowledge and data on the game. And
Mhm.
at any point in time, you could have decided to not do the video and hoard the riches yourself.
Mhm.
Knight could have said, you know what, I have a strategic and competitive advantage. I'm not going to share anything I've learned. And because because it's decentralized, and I honestly think that like their objective is to keep the game and its secrets and mechanics as decentralized as possible.
Mhm.
The onus is really on us to share what we know to help others. And so like even that by you putting the video out there, by Knight sharing knowledge with me, it allows me in turn to pay it forward, and just like everybody else does. And it's honestly, it's not just me. You want to talk about people, like I have never been part of a community that is full of such wonderful and just genuinely amazing people. There are some folks that, on any given day, they might be having a bad day and they go off. But when all is said and done, I actually feel like the community that we have is a lot more like a family than I would have ever expected.
Really.
And to be honest, the game could shut down tomorrow. I could lose everything in a hack or some mishap, and I would still be grateful, and I feel emotionally richer for having met all the folks that are in that community.
Mhm. It's interesting also the age group of the community is actually older than I would expect it to be. And plus the game is not cheap. To play this is not cheap.
Very true. Very true.
Yes,
I
especially more
have
so now.
yeah, I mean I have like I think in my mind you've got like you've got an idea, like a mental image of what you think everybody looks and sounds like. And I think the more that we see people coming out and producing videos, like Eric's on Twitch now as well.
Mhm.
Like there is a surprising demo. I was not expecting it to skew, as I don't want to say as old, because it's not old. It's just it's not super super young. But to your point, like you're dealing with folks that would have had money when crypto first came out, or as crypto became a little bit more mainstream, had enough money that they could actually afford to start playing. So it makes sense that it would be like late 20s, early 30 somethings. But we'll see. I'm sure it's going to change drastically over the coming years as more folks are able to acquire crypto. But it's an interesting group for sure.
Exactly. And when I first interviewed Jeffy B, I was specifically looking for someone who was around my nephew's age, in his 20s, because I wanted to show my nephews, hey, this new thing is coming out that I think is going to be great to play around with, because you can also learn. You can make money from it. So if you play this game, it's fun, but also it's you can monetize. Why not invest your energy into it? So that was my inspiration to look for someone who's 20 years old at that time. That's how old Jeffy was, and he was making $600 a week. So I was pretty impressed with that and wanted to share that story because my own nephews are about the same age as him. I'm like, hey, if he can do it, why not? You can try it,
Yep.
and then it led on to the next video, which was recently published on YouTube, which he's making about 2,000 a week now. So it's pretty impressive, and he's just a year and a half older, 21, 21 and a half. So to be missing out of it, the action really hurt. I think I just missed out on it, and it had nothing to do with the community too. It's just that my own stupidity just made me want to see what MCP was going to do about it. And I also have not even gotten a chance to thank the MCP development team. They also backed what they said they were going to do, which they promised me in a year and a half ago. They said they could not do anything on Mega Cryptopolis for me, because they didn't want to set a bad precedent. But they'll figure something out for me, which they did on another platform. I was not free to discuss that yet from them, so I just want to leave it at that. Just a thank you for them. And then when they say it's okay to talk about it, I'll go ahead and share that in a future
That's
video.
that's wonderful to hear. And like you said, like it's not a stupid action, man. Like that it happens, right? We all click, and for whatever it's worth, it's tough because you mentioned like losing something, but still loving it and still feeling passionate about it, and therefore like coming into the community to see what's going on. Like it's nice because you get to see what's happening, and maybe you live vicariously through others, but it's still it's like it's
Yeah,
heartbreaking, right?
it's like a guy took my girlfriend away that I loved.
Yep. Yeah, I was thinking of that analogy. And I was trying to figure out how I could present that and bring that forward, and it was a dead end. But no, that's exactly it. It's like
Yeah,
no, like if only.
yeah,
And what I think people have begun to recognize is this could happen to anybody, and therefore, like as terrible as it is when this happens, the silver lining in the universe is that we become exponentially more aware, and therefore with any I guess if there is any justice out there in the world, every single time one of us falls for something and gets hurt, it's making everybody else that much more wary, I think, so that they in turn it doesn't happen to them. And like you said, you put your story out there, you shared what happened, you acknowledged like, yeah, like it wasn't the smartest thing to do, but we literally all spend all day clicking on things, and it's
yes,
you shouldn't be penalized for trusting. It
yes.
should always
So
be one of those systems where we trust first,
mhm.
and you know
I I want to do something to prevent things like that to happen again. And I don't know what it is exactly, but I kind of want to get back at that guy, not in an vengeful way, but more of a way to stop what they're doing, because I know that feeling of like being scammed, and it's terrible. And I'm sure Mystic feels it 10 times more than I do. So whatever it is I can do to slow that activity down, because I'm not sure if there's like any metaverse council of like security and scam fraud bureau, whatever, things like that. And if there's not, then maybe we can build one, or at least be that kind of like place, the comfort place that people can vent and talk first. Okay, we may not have the direct solutions, but then maybe later on you're gonna have security people join in on community that we are building, and they're gonna like, oh, you can do this and that, and then like they'll contribute little by little, and eventually we have a full-on security scam force that will be out there providing more information to slow down that type of activity.
that'd be amazing. I mean, it's like you said, it's the Wild West, right? It's
Mhm.
you unfortunately you don't in this world, you don't know the stove is hot until you touch it and you burn your finger. In the real world, we grow up, we're raised, we're taught all these things from the moment that we're born. What's right, what's wrong, how to protect yourself. This is like there is no real like owner's manual. There's nobody. Our parents aren't teaching us how to stay safe in the metaverse. It's on us. We're that first generation. So
Mhm.
I think like you can you can take that energy that you have, the feeling of like, oh, like I wish I could get back at this person. And like anytime something happens to us and we're wronged, we can spend that energy trying to get back at that person, or we can redirect to something that actually has a chance to create value for a whole bunch of people. And what you're talking about is again taking something that happened to you and acknowledging like what's done is done, but I want like damn it, I'm not going to let this happen to somebody else. And I think that you being able to come in and share, hey, this is how it happened, this is what to look out for, it's going to inspire other people that have had the exact same thing happen. Because the last thing anybody wants to do is not like when something like this happens, you almost want to like just probably be in denial a little bit. Like, no, like just this is a dream. I don't want to think
I
about
have
this.
not
I don't want to
shared this
acknowledge.
publicly
Yep.
with any of my friends or
Yep.
family for this long, about a
Yeah.
year and a half, almost 2 years, because I'm
It's terrible.
partly
Yeah.
embarrassed. Yeah. And just have no solution of how to take care of it. But like I said, you step forward, MCP dev team step forward, and I'm so grateful that happened. And I want something like this to be out there to let them know that, games. It depends what they are. I'm not gonna say that for all other games, but at least for this development team, they got your people's back, in some way. So,
And we have each other's back.
and we have each
In the
other's back.
same way that you have helped other people, in the same way that countless others have and will. There's plenty of good in this world. There really is.
Okay. Well, thank you again for this. I just want to thank you in person. Like I said, we never spoken on the phone. We never met in person. And I received such a great gift for Christmas, So again, what a wonderful Christmas gift.
My pleasure. I appreciate it. And like I said, just know that you have had a tremendous impact on a lot of people, both directly and indirectly. So, yeah, I'm sure there's a lot more that we as a community can and will do. But at the bare minimum, let this be a start.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, man.
All right.
Why don't you go ahead and check out Bobby2's Twitch TV/Bobby2 NFT.
This is incredible. This is an incredible testament of how people can be in the community. Not everyone is bad. Not everyone is a scammer. And this proves to you that there is hope in this community. Thank you to guys like you, Baba Yetu. You have restored my faith in the metaverse. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.